Muy buenas amigas y amigos y bienvenidos al penúltimo capítulo de Agatha Christie, Asesinato en el Orient Express. Bueno familia, nos encontramos con Luke y nada familia, vamos al lío, ¿vale? ¿Qué tenemos que hacer? Cruzar el canal. Dice, he encontrado la forma de llegar al otro lado del canal hasta ahora no hemos sido capaces de encontrar un gondolero. Hay otro al final de esta plaza, debería probar con él, vale. Entonces con que hay que ir al final de la plaza, ¿no familia? Vengámonos.
Show me how an American detective would handle this.
Muy bien, vale. ¿Aquí qué pasa?
Calm and relaxing, although not as clean as it could be.
¿Qué quieres? Son aguas residuales, hija.
Every carnival, my friends and I mask, and every carnival we lose one another.
Vale. Vamos a ver aquí. A este de aquí.
Hi there. We'd like to cross the canal, please.
There is a bridge about a kilometer down the canal.
Please. According to the map, the Fontana dei Conigli is just across the canal here.
No, I, Gabriele, cannot help you. I'm sorry.
We'll miss the 10 o'clock rendezvous if we try to get through this crowd, and have to walk a kilometer in both directions. Why is he refusing to take us across? He looks upset. I should try to find out why. If it's a matter of price, I'm sure we can work it out.
Money? Money won't help me now.
¿Qué le
This
pasa?
problem isn't money. What is it then?
¿Qué le ocurre? A ver.
Bella Chiara, the beautiful Chiara. A beautiful name for a beautiful gondola.
Bella Chiara. Bella Chiara. ¿Y aquí qué tenemos? Un ramo.
Ah, what a sham. A beautiful bouquet crushed by revelers.
El problema del gondolero. ¿Qué problema tiene el gondolero? Está harto de los turistas, ha discutido con su novia, ha estropeado su ramo de flores. Yo creo que ha discutido.
Great.
Magnífico. ¿Cómo se llama la novia del gondolero? Chiara, ¿no?
Nice one.
Según ponía en
Score. One for the good guy.
lo que ponía ahí en el barco, ¿no? Vale. Yo creo que podemos hablar con el gondolero ahora. Vale. Perfecto. Chiara.
I'm sorry you had a fight with Chiara.
What? How did you know?
I'm a detective. I'd like to help, if I can.
If you have a spare engagement ring, detective, I'll take it.
Ah, I see. You lost the engagement ring you were planning to give Chiara?
Lost? It is worse than that. I threw it away in the canal. I bitterly regret this gesture. I now find myself without a girlfriend and without a ring.
Está sin novia y sin anillo.
If we find the ring, maybe the gondolier will take us across.
You are right. There is not much time. I will help you.
El anillo ahora hay que encontrar. Madre de Dios santo. Si os soy sincero. Aquí, sí, las palomas, aquí. Aquí, a ver, ¿qué tenemos aquí? A ver. Amigo.
I don't need an empty soda can.
Vale, lata de refresco vacía, nanay. Una
There
botella.
are too many plastic bottles in the world.
Vale. Y aquí el anillo. Vale.
I know someone who would be happy.
Vale, perfecto. Ok, vámonos. Con el gondolero. Familia. Vámonos. Que lo tenemos aquí. Vale, ahora sí que le podemos dar el anillo. Familia.
Excuse me. I believe I have something that belongs to you.
Mamma mia, grazie mille, signorina.
Grazie.
With this, I can now win my Chiara's heart again. I know it. How to thank you?
My friend and I need to get to the other side. We have a very important date at the Fontana di Conigli.
Ah, yes. The rabbit fountain. Of course, I'll take you across. Then I will call Chiara. Hopefully she will forgive me.
Con
I'm sure she
suerte.
will.
Well done, Detective Locke.
Vale. Perfecto, familia. Nos cruza. Vamos a ver con quién quedamos. ¿Con quién había quedado Ratchet? Mejor dicho, ¿vale, familia?
This district of Venice is very charming. You will love it.
Qué tranquilidad, ¿no? Se toma. Joder, macho, el tío está deprimido solo por cruzar el canal por un anillo. Joder, macho. Pues líate a buscarlo. Qué cabrones. Líate tú a buscarlo, no estés ahí quieto.
If it's not too much to ask, can you wait for us until we return?
Yes, no worries. I can call Chiara from here. To find the fountain, walk
Perfecto.
along the quay on the left, then cross the bridge and you are there. You cannot miss it.
Got
Vale.
it. Thank you.
Thank you, signorina. You have made me
Signorina.
the happiest gondolier in Venice.
Vale.
Do you forgive me?
Ya sabemos, vale dónde está, pero yo quiero mirar. A ver, ¿qué tenemos? Si tenemos algo por aquí. Puede ser que no. Sé que aquí tampoco es. Pero quiero ver por aquí. ¿Ves? Por aquí ya no te dejan pasar. Vale. Perfecto. Va, vámonos. Esto por lo que se ve no tiene pérdida. Cruzamos el puente y ahí tenemos la plaza, vale. Pem, pem. Vale. Vale. Aquí tenemos la plaza, familia. No sé si se tendrá que saltar alguna cinemática. Vale. Esto es lo que yo estaba esperando. Ha salido una mujer, ¿no? De ahí.
It's 9:55. The right time in the right place. Now AW just needs to show up.
You made me run, Detective Locke. Poirot does not run. I'll wait, sitting down.
No estás para estos trotes, Poirot. Vale, familia. ¿Ahora qué? Nos dice. Descubre quién es AW. Vale. Perfecto. Había una mujer que ha salido. Lo hemos cruzado por aquí. He visto una mujer salir de ahí. Pero yo creo que va a estar por aquí escondida.
We have an appointment, I believe.
I don't think so. I've never met you.
Vale. Vale.
We have an appointment, I believe.
I don't think so. I've never met you.
Aquí nadie me ha visto, claro. A ver. A ver si acabamos antes así.
Nobody. The desk clerk must be asleep or off partying.
Vale, pero podemos mirar
There's no one to
esto.
help me. They won't mind if I help myself.
Claro. AW. Pues yo solo veo este, ¿no?
Aziz Wadi. That's the only name that corresponds to the initials AW.
Paziente, non ti ho sentito. Posso aiutarla?
Hello. I'm looking for the Fontana de Canigli. Do you know where it is?
Ah, it's right in front of the hotel. It's easy to recognize because of the rabbits.
Thank you. I had an appointment with someone, but I can't find him. I wondered if you might be staying in your hotel.
I can't help you unless you give me the name.
Andanguada o Aziz Wadi.
I have an appointment with Mr. Aziz Wadi. Do you know if he's here?
Well, unfortunately, he left the hotel this morning. He seemed to be in a hurry, but he left a carta. You are?
I'm Mrs. Ratchet.
Mr. Wadi asked me to give the message to the signore, but I suppose this is okay.
Vale, dice, creo que me están vigilando. He cambiado el punto de encuentro. Alicia estaba sentada en la fuente. Miró la estatua del conejo blanco. De repente la bestia se alejó saltando. Alicia la siguió. Una vez más, deja que Alicia te guíe. Tras caminar por el callejón estrecho y cruzar un puente, Alicia se topó con dos hombres que discutían sobre quién tenía el sombrero más alto. Sus pies la llevaron de vuelta al callejón estrecho y luego a una pequeña plaza, donde encontró a un gato tomando el té. El travieso felino corrió hacia otro callejón y Alicia lo persiguió. Sin aliento, Alicia llegó a una gran plaza, donde se encontraban los barracones de los naipes soldados, que marchaban hacia ella. Alicia corrió y corrió hasta el final de un embarcadero. Allí, una gran puerta con el rostro de una gorgona le exigió un código secreto. El código que Alicia había reunido en su viaje. Vale. Ay, la madre que parió. Ok.
So, mademoiselle, was our mysterious A.W. here?
No, but I managed to get his name, Aziz Wadi, and a letter he wrote for Ratchet. It seems to be a kind of riddle rhyme.
Let me see. Well, Ratchet and Mr. Wadi must love this book to refer to it so much.
Yes, I think we have to search and find the
La
tracks
verdad
that
que
this
sí.
person left for Ratchet to find him.
I think so. Lead the way, Mademoiselle Locke.
Vale, descubre quién es. Vale, ya sabemos quién es, que es Aziz, ¿no? Y ahora encuentra a Aziz Wadi. Vale, mensaje. Que el mensaje es este. Dice, creo que me están vigilando. He cambiado el punto de encuentro. Ay, que me pican los ojos. Alicia estaba sentada en la fuente. Miró a la estatua del conejo blanco. De repente la bestia se alejó saltando. Alicia la siguió una vez más. Deja que Alicia te guíe, o sea... Vale, esto es lo de la identidad, ¿vale? Así es Wadi, vale. O sea, estaba mirando. A ver.
I have an appointment with you, don't I?
No, dove la tua
Vale.
maschera?
Deja que te guíe por el callejón estrecho. O sea, el callejón estrecho tiene que ser ese de ahí. O... A ver. Aquí sí que no podíamos pasar porque aquí... no hay nada, ¿vale? Pero tenemos otro callejón por allí. Vale, gente, he tenido problemas con la grabación, ¿vale? Así que ha dejado de grabar por toda la cara. Al principio del vídeo, a los pocos minutos, ¿vale? Después de darme aquí una pedazo de paliza para encontrar un código que debemos de meter, ¿vale? Que es 28469, que son números que hay dando vueltas por toda esta zona, ¿vale? Callejeando, y según que ciertas zonas pues hay ciertos números, ¿vale? Vamos a ir donde tenemos que poner el número, que exactamente no sé dónde es, pero bueno. Vamos a ver. Me parece... no, ahí no había nada. Vale, hay que cruzar. Vale, hay que cruzar. Vamos a ver. Eso es un laberinto, gente. Pero de cojones, ¿eh? A ver, por ahí no puedo ir. Vamos a intentar ir por aquí. A ver a dónde salimos. Vale. Si no me equivoco, me parece que meterlo aquí. No. No. A ver. A ver, a ver. No, aquí no es. Pues aquí hay para meter. Pero me pone que aquí no es. Que este no es. Entonces tiene que ser en otro lugar, familia. A ver. Pues me parece que es hacia el otro lado. Si no me equivoco, ¿eh? A ver. Por aquí puedo ir. Vale, pero por aquí es por donde he venido. Vale. Esto es un laberinto, familia. Un laberinto de cojones. Que ahí nada. Vamos por aquí. A ver. Vale, aquí no creo que sea. No, tío. De aquí tampoco hay para meter ningún código. A ver, aquí sí. ¿Veis? Aquí tenemos un 9. ¿Lo veis? Vale, familia. Pero me parece que aquí 28, 46, 9. Aquí es. My family. Aquí es. Oh my god. Qué alegría me ha dado, tú. Vale. Qué alegría me ha dado, familia. Porque qué de vueltas. ¿Qué ha pasado aquí? ¿Qué ha pasado aquí?
Hey, you.
Vale, hay que ir detrás de él.
Lose them.
Hay que ir detrás de él, notas. Qué cabrón, ¿cómo se va, tú? ¿Cómo corre? Maldito pellejo, pendejo, que eres un pendejo. Ah, lo sabía yo. Que me la iba a liar. Vale, se ha ido por aquí, si no me equivoco. Vale. Vale. Vamos bien, vamos bien, vamos bien. De momento. Uf, qué cabrón. Qué cabrón. Vale. Venga, vámonos. Vamos, 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 chiqui. Vamos, chiqui. Uf. Menos mal que era por aquí, ¿eh? Porque me ha arriesgado mucho, ¿eh? Podría haber sido por el otro lado.
Move over.
¿Qué ha pasado, tío? No me jodas. Lo hemos perdido. ¡Oh! ¡Oh, oh! ¿Ahora dónde está? Mamá. ¿Ahora dónde puñetas está?
Too many! Too many masks! The murderer could be standing there watching me and laughing.
Yes, Detective Locke?
The murderer got away. I'm coming back, but it looked like he dropped something when he climbed the first wall.
All right, I'll go and see. For my part, unfortunately, I could do nothing for the victim. He was already dead. I have already alerted the Italian authorities. I will see what I can find while I wait for them.
Vale, nos toca ser Poirot ahora, ¿no? Analiza la escena del crimen, family. Dinero. Unas gafas de sol.
A pair of women's glasses. Was Ratchet planning a new identity?
Puede ser. Dinerito.
There must be several tens of thousands of dollars
Qué
in this
gozada.
bag.
Sería... Uf, qué gozada, qué feliz sería yo con muchos billetes de eso. Vale, no tenemos nada más, ¿no? Ok. Aquí, por lo menos. Vale, aquí parece ser que nada. Vamos a ver. Aquí delante, ¿qué tenemos? Hay una maleta. Vale.
Various clothes in his suitcase. Mr. Waddy was obviously planning to leave this city.
Buddy Assis.
Mr. Waddy's Swiss passport. I'll see if I can find a match on the internet to confirm his identity.
Nombre de pila. Assis Buddy, ¿no es? Suiza. Ginebra. Hay un mosquito para aquí, gente, de esos pequeños, y no sabéis el por culo que da, ¿eh? Y edad, 45, 37.
I must admit,
No.
no, not good.
45. Vale. Vale.
I'm right again.
Magnífico.
That happens.
Vale, había más cosas aquí. Las llaves.
A bunch of keys.
Unas llaves.
It seems likely Mr. Waddy is a resident of Geneva.
Residía en
Then,
Ginebra.
one of these may belong to his home there.
Recogemos. Vale, visto. Disculpad, gente. Vale, vamos a mirar el cuerpo.
The victim was stabbed. Apparently the method of choice in this case.
Vale, una puñalada. No parece ser que tengamos nada más a simple vista, tío. A simple vista, ¿eh? No sé, me ha dado por mirar por aquí. Pero... a ver. Un bigote.
Another golden mustache to treasure.
¿Qué debe de haber? ¿Algo más? A ver. Analiza la escena del crimen. Vale, debo examinar la escena del crimen sin que la policía me moleste. Vale, nos queda una prueba. Vale, nos queda una prueba. Vale. Y espero que se esté grabando todo esto bien, ¿eh? Vale, puede ser... Vale, esto está visto. Víctima vista, maleta vista. Vale. Algo tiene que haber más por ahí, tío. No sé. A ver, aquí. ¿Papelera esta o algo? ¿O qué? ¿No? ¿No? Wow. Aquí al otro lado. Espérate. No sé, aquí tenemos la puerta para salir. Y no tenemos nada. Vale. Vamos a seguir mirando todo bien, meticulosamente, ¿no? Porque... claro, algo debe de haber. Algo debe de haber. Vale, aquí hemos visto bien. Ahí estaba lo del bigote. Vale. ¿Qué tenemos aquí? Vale. Pasaporte, ¿no? Enrico Caldo, cojones, iba a cambiar el nombre, ¿no? Ya otra vez.
A false passport.
Vale, este es el que le iba a dar el pasaporte.
Ratchet. How many others? Now,
No sé,
he will become Enrico
digo yo.
Caldo. It appears
Caldo.
Ratchet changed his identity as often as his socks.
Como de calzoncillo. Vale. Recogido. Ya hemos analizado la escena, es lo que quedaba. ¿Qué más? Dinero en la mochila. Mapa mental. Vale, la intuición te permite sacar tus propias conclusiones del rescate del caso Armstrong o de un trato con Cairo. Yo creo que será del rescate, ¿no?
This is the most likely answer.
I'm sorry
Vale.
I couldn't catch the suspect, Mr. Poirot.
There is no need to apologize, mademoiselle. Your efforts were marvelous. I found some information about Mr. Wadi.
Did you access the FBI database?
Don't worry, my little gray cells were enough. However, the database may confirm the origin of these banknotes.
No need. I included them when I continued my investigation.
Excellent.
Encuentra los números de serie de los billetes entre las fotos del teléfono de Joana. Vale, ya están aquí los números de serie. 21 son los NA y hay 3, ¿no? 1, 2 y 3. Vale, son los NA. Acabado en 0, 3 el otro. 42. A ver. El 880 sí que está aquí, ese.
Score. One for the good guys.
Vale, hay que buscar el 03G. 03G. Vale, habrá que buscarlo de otra manera. Habrá que buscarlos. Vale, tiene que estar aquí, vale, el 03G.
The detective gets it right.
Y el 49C. Aquí parece ser que no está, ¿no? El NA. El 49C. What? What? ¿Dónde puñetas estás? ¿Dónde está este tío? Aquí están los NA, los 2447, que esto no tiene nada que ver. Aquí tenemos el NA, el GGTT. Y luego el L. Porque no hay nada más para abajo, ¿no? Vale. Luego aquí son los números. ¿Y por qué no me sales? Mira, sí está aquí, ¿no? Está aquí.
That
Está
is
aquí.
a great detective
Perfecto.
job. Mr. Poirot, it's part of the ransom money from the Armstrong
Vale,
case.
lo que habíamos
You are
deducido.
surprised?
I suppose not. So Ratchet had it in an account at the Banque du Lac.
It would seem so. He knew the serial numbers on the banknotes could be traced, and he could not spend it, so he stashed it there.
But now he's run low, something he didn't count on. He hopes enough time has passed so he can begin to spend the ransom money.
Ah, there is something else he didn't count on.
What's that?
He didn't count on you, Detective Locke, and your tenacity.
Thank you. But we are still left with a murderer on the loose.
But we progress. We know Mr. Waddy had an appointment with Ratchet. He had a bag full of money and a passport with Ratchet's photo, but a new name. What is your opinion about the passport?
¿Qué del pasaporte de Ratchet? Ratchet quería desaparecer otra vez, escondiéndose tras otra identidad falsa. El pasaporte revela la verdadera identidad de Ratchet. No, yo creo que es esta.
I discovered that he was arrested in Armenia for trafficking in stolen art, and was supposed to be arraigned in January. Once again, he changed his identity and vanished.
You are correct, mademoiselle. He also told me that he was threatened, and that threatening letter we found in his room was real. He had to disappear once again.
¿Por qué el asesino no se llevó el dinero? Era demasiado arriesgado, su móvil no era el dinero.
The bag isn't very big. He could have easily run away with it. If he didn't take it, it was deliberate. He wasn't interested in the money. If the motive wasn't money, it leaves passion or revenge for motive.
So, Detective Locke, what do you think? Passion or revenge?
Su móvil era personal, su móvil
Revenge
era
seems like an
venganza.
obvious motive to me. The murderer carefully followed Waddy from the fountain to the new meeting place despite Waddy's precautions. That is cold and careful.
Excellent. We cannot yet know for certain, but that is a sound psychological analysis. We have an idea of the motive. It is the same motive as that of our 12 would-be murderers on the train. But we still must know who was under that mask.
¿La misma persona que mató a Ratchet o un asesino controlado? Yo creo que la
I think
misma.
Waddy's killer is also Ratchet's murderer. The motive for both deaths was revenge, and both are related to the Armstrong case through the ransom money.
Exactly. So our murderer is linked to the Armstrong case. The money is linked to the Armstrong case. But these glasses that I found in the bag, they must have something to do with this case too.
Wait, those glasses mean something to me.
Doctor Constantine, Susana Maro. Yo creo que doctor.
Dr. Constantine? No, that's not it. They're the woman's glasses, and I think there's something about them. They're familiar to me somehow. Wait, I know. I've seen these. They belong to Suzanne Moreau, little Daisy's nurse. I remember seeing them in her bedroom, but they were gone the day she died.
I remember the press saying that the nurse had committed suicide.
I've always believed otherwise, and the glasses are proof that she was killed by Ratchet or his accomplice. He took those glasses. I always had a gut feeling, but now, Mr. Poirot, now I have proof Suzanne was innocent.
Yes, you do. But the question I ask myself is this. Why did Ratchet keep these glasses?
Como trofeo de sus víctimas, como prueba falsa para el
Ratchet used to
futuro.
leave fake evidence at the scene of his crimes to incriminate others. He did the same thing to frame Suzanne.
Possibly. But keeping an object belonging to his victim as a souvenir of the murder,
De un
that is the
fetichista.
behavior of a fetishist.
Now that you mention it, in my investigation at the time, I had already found Daisy's hair clip in Ratchet's cabin. And now we find Suzanne's glasses in
Pues
a bag
es de
for
eso.
Ratchet.
Two objects from two victims of Ratchet.
Cazador de trofeos.
He is a trophy hunter.
Okay, we managed to clear up some of the gray areas. What now?
The bag only contained a fraction of the $1 million ransom of the Armstrong case. The rest must still be in a secure place. I will make a wager with you that it is the Banque du Lac in Geneva where Mr. Waddy worked.
Waddy was also the keeper of Ratchet's secrets. They were killed by the same murderer.
Agreed. Well, there is nothing more we can do here except wait for the police. Prepare yourself for a long evening with the police. We have a lot of explaining to do.
And after that,
Los
Visit to
carabinieri.
Geneva, perhaps?
Vale, familia. Venecia. A ver qué dice Book.
Here you are at last. I was worried about you.
We just left the police station. We had to explain to the Italian police that we were not murderers.
What? Another murder?
I'll tell you when we're underway. Are all passengers and staff aboard?
Yes, everyone is here. We were waiting for you.
Excellent. Let's not waste any more time. We have to make a longer than usual stop in Lausanne.
What? How long?
Long enough to do a little banking in Geneva.
A Ginebra que nos vamos, familia. ¡Let's go! Deberían sacar también un juego de Mr. Purple. Bueno, Miss Purple, mejor dicho.
But this is madness. A 13th murderer of Ratchet?
Mon ami, he was not well liked.
But Monsieur Michel would have seen anyone enter Ratchet's compartment. And there were another 10 people milling about, taking their turn at stabbing him. How could they not notice an uninvited killer?
¿Por qué no vio el señor Michel el asesino?
Pierre Michel's testimony is, of course, false. He was actively involved in the murder plot. I must know his real movements to understand when our 13th murderer could have acted undetected.
Vale, el asesino sigue en el tren, sí, ¿no?
Yes, he most certainly returned to the train.
Sí.
How can you be sure?
It's obvious. I mean, I hope Mr. Poirot agrees.
Please continue, Detective Locke.
Vale, ¿cuál es la prueba de que el asesino sigue en el tren? Echó a correr en dirección a la estación del tren de Venecia. Su mejor opción para salir de Italia es el tren. En el tren no falta nadie.
All the passengers and crew are still aboard. If the killer of Mr. Wadi had remained in Venice, we would have noticed right away that someone was missing, and we could have alerted the authorities.
I promise you, I made certain everyone was aboard before we embarked.
Book, calm yourself.
Calm myself? But we're back where we started. There is still another murderer on my train. Wait a moment. Can I change my mind about my verdict? Can we turn everyone over to the police?
Everyone? Including ourselves?
What? No. No. It's a nightmare.
Está sufriendo Book, ¿eh?
Take it step by step, my friend.
Mon
We
ami.
can start by eliminating all of the members of the Ratchet jury.
Vale, ¿quiénes son las 12 personas que fueron a la vez jurado y verdugos de Ratchet? Hostia puta. Vale, llevamos 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A ver.
I do not think that's the right answer.
Una persona por identificar. Vale, no era ella, era él. Ok,
My little gray cells
No
do
era
not
ella, era
let
él.
me down.
perfecto.
If we eliminate the 12 jurors, we are left with
7
7
sospechosos.
additional suspects.
7? It's still too many.
Siguen siendo
I
mucho.
agree. We must reduce our
Hay que
list.
reducir.
Excuse my impatience, Poirot. It's as if my beautiful train is cursed. Can you exonerate any of the 7?
Hay otros sospechosos. ¿Es Book sospechoso? No.
Yes. Book worked hard to get me aboard the train.
Sería de
He is
tontos, ¿no?
definitely not a suspect. Adequate.
No.
Mademoiselle Locke cannot be a suspect. She pursued Mr. Wadi's murderer. I must admit I'm not right this time.
Pues yo estaba con que sí,
Dr.
tío.
Constantine who alerted me to the 13th stab wound.
Es verdad, avisó a la
Not, I
décimo.
think. Nice.
Vale. Es verdad.
Dr. Constantine alerted me to the 13th stab wound. He is not a suspect. Et voilà.
Et voilà.
I have 4 suspects left who I must now examine more
Cuatro.
closely. Miss Nielsen, Monsieur Maury, Monsieur Fauché, and Countess Andrény.
One of my employees? Suspicious?
All 3 got off the train in Venice to restock supplies. Any one of them might have slipped away without being noticed.
I suppose. But what of Countess Andrény? You cleared her yourself.
She is cleared of the first murder, but we know little of her movements here in Venice. So, we still have 4 suspects to interview. Detective Locke?
I can't join you, Poirot. My chief saw something on the news about the case and my involvement. He's demanding an explanation. If I want to keep my badge, I have to call him.
Then you must do so by all means.
I'm sorry.
No
I'm
need to
sorry.
apologize. I understand.
I'll make the call from my compartment. If you're looking for me, I'll be there.
Vale.
I hate to say this, Poirot, but I must. There is, of course, one other suspect with a motive for murder. The ransom money.
You mean Detective Locke? Then who did she chase? Who killed Aziz? We both saw the masked murderer standing over the body.
Vale, interroga a la señorita Nielsen. Que la señorita Nielsen era... A ver... Vale, Freja Nielsen. Vale, la repostera. Vale, vámonos. Vámonos, family. Vale, a Fusher. Vale, hay que interrogar, perdón, a los otros 4. Venga, vámonos. A ver qué han hecho por Venecia. Vale, a la condesa. Mira, la condesa la tenemos aquí. Vale.
Doctor, I need to question Countess Andreni.
I'm afraid that won't be possible,
Bueno.
Mr. Poirot. The Countess had an anxiety attack when we arrived in Venice. She was terrified the police would come for her and her husband, despite how you concluded your investigation. I had to give her a sedative. She has been sleeping since.
Entonces tiene coartada.
You have stayed with her all the time we were in Venice?
Count Andreni begged me to watch over her. I have not left this room.
You're the reason she's in this state.
Qué cabrón.
Book voted to absolve you all. I accepted his verdict.
I told her. I tried to reason with her. What she has already suffered, the strain of these last few days, it was too much.
I understand, Count. It's quite all right. I have the answers I came for.
Vale, la condesa está. Vámonos. ¿Quién es el Fusher este de los cascabeles? A ver. Huber. Vale, Andreni está. Vale. Vale, al camarero. Ok. Y a Lotaro Vale, vale, vale. Pues estos 3 son los que tengo que interrogar. Vámonos.
Ah, Michel, I have a few more questions to ask you, if you will allow me.
Anything, Monsieur Poirot. We are in your debt.
¿Qué hizo en Venecia?
Please tell me your movements when we were stopped at Venice Station.
Once the compartments were cleaned and the linen refreshed, I stayed in my quarters.
Did you notice anything special? Comings and goings?
Monsieur Bouc had asked everyone to stay in their compartments. I would occasionally walk the train to ensure everyone was comfortable. Oh, I saw Monsieur Maury was all alone loading his crates of provisions.
Maury.
A great chef like that, reduced to petty labor, I would have helped him. But Monsieur Bouc had ordered me not to leave the train for any reason. So, Monsieur Maury was forced to labor alone.
Let us review the actual timeline of the night of Ratchet's murder, not the one manufactured to hide your crime.
I left the train in Minkowski for a smoke. Then I resumed my post. That was the truth. The train departed on schedule. But then, of course, an avalanche of snow blocked the tracks. At 12:45, Madame Hubbard and I met in her compartment to discuss how to adapt our plan.
Due to the snow. And, well,
The little play we had staged for you had to be rewritten. I left her compartment at approximately 1:15.
then the curtain went up. Calls in the night, the red kimono, all for my benefit.
And all for nothing, as it turned out.
Do not blame yourself, Michel. I am the theater critic no playwright wants to see in the audience.
Vale. Señor Michel interrogado. ¿A cuánto? Yo pensaba que al señor Michel no había que interrogarlo. A ver. Vale. Michel, Andreni, Mori, Fauser. Vale, ahora solo me quedan estas tres. Ok. Vale, perfecto. Vámonos. Aquí en el bar tiene que estar. Tiene que estar el camarero. Fauser o Fusher. Aquí lo tenemos, en el piano. Vamos al lío.
Play well. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Thank you. Many years of piano lessons thanks to my mother. I try to play in a few clubs in Paris when I get the chance, but as you can see, it hasn't made me rich. What can I do for you?
Conversation only. Tell me about your time in Venice.
I had Monsieur Book's permission to see my sister. She lives in Marghera, just outside of Venice. She had a baby a few weeks ago. This was my first chance to meet my new nephew.
Monsieur Book gave you permission?
Yes, you can ask him.
Most assuredly, I will. What time did you leave and when did you return?
I left around 9:10 p.m. I was back by 10:45 p.m. When I got back, Hotaru was in a lot of pain. I gave him a back massage.
That would have been enough time to kill Monsieur Wadi and return to the train.
Por ejemplo. Ver sus cuchillos.
May I see your knives?
Of course, they are here.
If you don't mind.
Help yourself. They are under the bar counter.
Tell me again about your poker game the night of the murder.
It's a regular game to help relax after a long day. Let's see, we started around 11 p.m. We took a short break in Vinkovsky, Hotaru, Pierre, and I. The game finished up around 2 a.m. We'd all had quite a bit to drink. Ah, yes, I left for about 10 minutes to refrigerate champagne for the next day. That must have been around 1 a.m.
Vale, vamos a ver los cuchillos.
None of these come close to the wounds on either body.
Vale, nada, ¿no? Vale, otro menos. Vámonos. Continuamos. A ver dónde está Mori. Tenemos que hablar con Book. Autorización para el señor Faucher.
Told Faucher he could go into
Faucher.
Venice?
Marghera, actually. Not so far away. It was his only chance to see his sister. He's been working every trade for weeks. There is never time to see the new baby.
Enough, Book. Your heart does you credit, but your common sense, it...
I know. But it's fine. Isn't it? He did come back.
Oh, it's fine, as you say. Unless he saw the baby, then killed someone else and returned to the train.
But that's monstrous.
Murder is always monstrous, my friend.
Vale. Perfecto. A ver qué más tenemos por aquí. Aquí tenemos a Mori.
Good evening, Monsieur Mori. May I have a moment of your time? I have a few questions to ask you.
Of course, as long as you don't mind if dinner is ruined.
I promise to be as brief as possible. What did you do while we were stopped in Venice?
With Freya's help, I loaded fresh produce for the next part of our journey. Then, you may not believe this, but my job requires a lot of physical labor. My back suffers. Fortunately, Jean has become quite adept at separating my vertebrae.
As you may know, I have solved the murder of Monsieur Ratchet.
That is a shame.
I beg your pardon?
The bastard sent my steak tartar back, telling John I was to burn it.
I will add it to the list of his crimes. One wound on Monsieur Ratchet's body was struck by a very sharp, thin-bladed knife. We haven't found it yet.
You think one of mine was used?
I'd like to have a look if you don't mind.
In that drawer.
An impressive set of knives, but their blades are too wide to have been used for the crime.
Pues sí.
Tell me about your poker game the night of the murder.
We started around 11 p.m. When John finished his shift, we played until around 2 a.m. From what I remember, it's a bit vague.
You played without a break.
Actually, we did break once for a smoke. John, Pierre, and I. When we stopped in Vinkovsky.
When was that?
Around midnight?
Vale. Uno menos. A ver si esta está en el almacén. ¿O dónde está esta mujer? A ver. ¿Qué tenemos aquí? ¿Qué tenemos aquí?
The box is secured by some sort of locking mechanism. The design is formed by 3 commas. What is the word in Japanese? Tamoe. And it's obviously missing a piece.
Falta una pieza, tío.
The design is formed by 3 commas. Tamoe.
Vale. Gente, disculpad, ¿eh? Vale. Esta tiene que estar aquí, ¿no? Me imagino. Sí.
Good evening, Mademoiselle Nielsen. May I talk to you for a moment?
Of course, Mr. Poirot. I'm not going to bed right away.
Venga.
Can you tell me your movements while we were stopped in Venice?
That'll be easy. I didn't move much at all. Let's see. I helped Hataru load all of the food crates aboard the train. Hataru had everything he needed, but I realized they forgot half of my order. I spent over an hour on the phone with the supplier without success. I had to change the dessert menu for tomorrow.
Dr. Constantine found a stab wound on Ratchet's body that was caused by a much thinner and sharper blade than the others.
Possibly a chef's knife?
My thought, precisely.
And you'd like to see my knives?
If you wouldn't mind.
I would gladly show you if I had any, but
Si
I
los
don't.
tuviera.
I use the regular kitchen knives. You may search if you don't believe me.
I see.
All the knives the staff use are in the kitchen or in the lounge, except
Except
Otaro prefers to use his own.
Monsieur Mori doesn't use the kitchen knives.
Not usually. I know he keeps a set of traditional Japanese knives in a box in his room. He doesn't let anyone else use them. Although now that I
caja.
think of it, he has been using the kitchen knives lately.
Vale, la caja es de eso, es de Otaru.
Can you tell me exactly about your poker game the night of the murder?
We started around 11 p.m. In Vinkovsky, we took a short break. Hataru and Pierre went outside to smoke. Oh, and Hataru got sick around a few minutes past 1 a.m.
A la 1:10,
maybe.
Otaru.
He spent about 15 minutes in the bathroom, but he didn't want to quit on a losing streak.
Did his luck improve?
No, so we played to around 2 a.m. He lost every hand.
Vale, Otaru, ¿eh? Otaru tiene muchas cosas que contarnos.
But some elements of the testimonies do not seem to
Claro,
correspond.
el de
I
Otaru.
need to recheck a few things.
Es el de Otaru, ¿sabes? Confronta a la señorita Nielsen. Hay con el testimonio de Mademoiselle Nielsen que no me cuadra. Hay que confrontarla al respecto. Y coartada de los empleados para el asesinato. Vale, selecciona 2 elementos que den a los empleados una coartada para la hora del asesinato. Monsieur Michel, Monsieur Mori, Monsieur Fouché bajaron el tren Visconti para fumar, ¿no? Puso a enfriar. Monsieur Michel estuvo en la habitación de Madame Huppert. Mademoiselle Nielsen no fuma. Monsieur Mori vomitó en torno a la 1:10. Monsieur Michel no estuvo vigilando el pasillo. Es que no sé. ¿Puede ser esta?
Do not think
No. Ah, esas son, familia, esas son. Vale, Mademoiselle Nielsen no bajó del tren en Vinkovsky. Así que estaba sola en las dependencias de los empleados. Vale, 2 elementos que ven a los empleados, una coartada a la hora del asesinato, vale. Uno tiene que ser esto. A ver, el champán, vale. Ok. Vale, Monsieur Fouché subió al tren a las 12:55 cuando Pierre Michel no estaba vigilando el pasillo. Vale. Esas son, tú. Monsieur Mori subió al tren a las 1:10 cuando Pierre Michel no estaba vigilando el pasillo. Vale. Sacar conclusiones. Cualquiera de los tres. ¡Voilà! Vale. Coartada de los empleados. Vale, comprueba los cuchillos del señor Mori. Freja Nielsen me contó que Monsieur Mori nunca usa los cuchillos de la cocina y que guarda sus cuchillos japoneses personales en la habitación 302, su cuarto de la dependencia de los empleados. Debo comprobarlo. La coartada de Venecia.
Remind me of what you did when the train stopped in Venice.
No problem. I helped Hotaru load all of the food crates aboard the train. Hotaru had everything he needed, but I realized they forgot half of
Esto
my
es lo
order.
mismo,
I
¿no?
spent over an hour on the phone with the supplier without success.
Es lo
I had to
mismo.
change the dessert menu for tomorrow.
Confrontación, vale, ahora. ¿Cuál de estas frases contiene una mentira? Cargué todas las cajas de comida con Hotaru. Me di cuenta de que se olvidaron de la mitad de mi pedido. Me pasé una hora al teléfono hablando con el proveedor en mano. Tuve que cambiar el menú del postre. Vale, este no es. Ok. Vale. Pues entonces la primera, tío.
Mademoiselle, I
Cuyons.
believe you're hiding the truth from me.
What makes you say that?
Selecciona un elemento que pruebe que está mintiendo. Testimonio de Mori. Testimonio de Fouché. Testimonio del señor Michel.
Michel
Sí.
saw Monsieur Mori carrying the crates of food alone. You weren't on the platform.
I did help Hotaru.
The entire time? He carried so many crates, his back was sore.
Ah, I'm sorry about that. Okay, I'm guilty. I did leave him before we were finished. But I had to. There was no saffron he needed for a recipe. I volunteered to go into Venice and get him some. The Rialto market would be open late because of the carnival. He gave me money. I knew we weren't supposed to leave the train, but I only wanted to help. Mr. Mori can confirm this. Ask him. I saved dinner.
On behalf of my palate, I thank you. How long were you gone?
I left at 9:10 p.m. and was back with the saffron around 11. That's when I called my supplier for the items I was missing.
Más o menos como el otro, como Fouché.
Nielsen had almost 2 hours to buy the saffron, find a costume, kill Monsieur Wadi, elude Detective Locke, and make it back to the train for that phone call. Yes, it's possible that was enough time.
Thank you, Mademoiselle Nielsen. That is all for now.
Sorry again, Mr. Poirot. I hope you enjoy tonight's dessert.
Vale, ya hemos confrontado. Tenemos que abrir la caja. Vámonos. Que no sé cómo puñetas la vamos a abrir, pero bueno. Mira, aquí tenemos algo. ¿Bo? Vale, debería de ir así, ¿no? Para que este, vale, pudiera ir así. Vale. A ver. Entonces este va así. Vale. Vale, esto puede ir así entonces. Vale. A ver. Vale. Pero aquí hay algo que me falla. Que es... Vale. 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 A ver. Vale. Sí, 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 sí. Mola. Vale, y lo que nos falta, ¿no?
An object that looks like a broken comma. It
Perfect.
must be part of something else.
Perfect. Magatama. Vale, volvemos. Y entonces ahora sí que podemos venir aquí. Vale. Vale, aquí tenemos los cuchillos, familia. Tiene que ser uno fino, ¿no? Decía. Este puede ser.
Coltería Venecia.
Coltería Venecia. Compró los cuchillos, ¿ves? Listo. Pregunta al señor Mori por sus cuchillos personales. Perfecto. Vámonos. Vale, salimos por aquí, ¿no? Bueno, no, por aquí salimos por esta, pero bueno. Vale, vamos a preguntarle, family. A ver qué nos tiene que decir de sus cuchillitos.
I'm sorry, Monsieur Mori, but haven't you forgotten something? You haven't told me about the knives hidden in your room.
Ha! Yes, indeed.
Oh, se olvidó.
I forgot to tell you about
Qué cabezota,
those. They are my personal knives. I only use these knives. There are none better. I bought them all in Japan. No one is allowed to touch them except me.
Confrontación. Son mis cuchillos personales. Solo uso esos. No hay ninguno mejor. Los compré todos en Japón. Nadie tiene permiso. Vale, esto.
I need some hard evidence to prove he's lying.
What? Es verdad, la de Japón. ¿Verdad? Porque ponía Venecia.
I'm afraid you are better at sushi than lying.
What? What do you mean?
One of the knives has an inscription.
Coltelleria Venezia.
Did you happen to go shopping tonight, monsieur?
Damn you, Poirot. Very well.
Huh.
One of my sushi knives has been missing since the night of the murder. I thought you were going to believe I killed Ratchet. He routinely sent back my dishes to be ruined. Why does God give rich people the money to afford the best cuisine, but not the palate to appreciate it? I panicked. I know a very good store in Venice. I went to buy a knife to replace the one that had gone missing.
Todos
So,
fueron.
I wouldn't be accused.
Los tres son sospechosos,
Nothing to do with any murders.
I would have an easier time believing you, monsieur, if you put that knife down.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry.
What time did you leave on your little shopping trip?
I left around 9:30 p.m. I was back a little after 11:15 p.m.
Está un poco más
Time
tarde.
enough to stab Monsieur Waddy and return.
Very well, Monsieur Mori. That's all for now. If I have another question,
I'll be right here, cooking.
Vale, familia. Joder. Están los tres por igual, ¿eh? Coartadas en Venecia. Nuevo nodo. ¿Quién no tiene coartada para el asesinato del señor Buddy?
I don't.
Vale. Exacto, estos no tienen coartada, estos tres.
That's the right answer.
Perfecto. Informa a la inspectora Luke. Vale. A ver dónde anda. Vale. Vale, aquí no está, ¿no? No me lo habré saltado. Muy mal debería de estar, ¿no? ¿Dónde está la inspectora Luke? La inspectora Luke, ¿en qué habitación estaba? 105. Vámonos. Vámonos, está en segunda clase. 105. Vamos, informamos y a ver qué nos dice. 107, 106 y 105. ¡Yepa! Vale. Perfecto.
What have you been doing, Poirot? I am completely in the dark.
I will shine some light on the situation, my friend. I have 3 new suspects who could have killed Ratchet and Monsieur Wadi. Miss Nielsen, Monsieur Fauché, and Monsieur Maury.
Maury.
They all had periods of time during both murders to commit the deed, and their alibis are weak. A visit to family, and not 1, but 2 shopping trips.
But all are my employees.
¿Eso qué tiene que ver?
Alas, yes, my dear book. But we have no proof against any of them. None of the 3 appears to have any motive whatsoever.
But this is a tragedy.
Do not give up hope. We will catch this murderer. There is still one place that may hold the evidence we need.
Geneva.
Exact.
Do not give up hope? Well, that's easy for you to say. But what if it's Freya? What becomes of dessert? If it's Sotaru, who will cook? Me? And the worst, if it's Jean, who will serve the drinks?
I've been checking up on the Banque du Lac. I had to confirm my identity for Interpol, so they contacted my captain at the Berkshire Police.
I suspect he was not pleased.
That my vacation was actually an unofficial investigation? I'll say.
I would be happy to speak to him on your behalf.
Thank you. But he'll get over it. It's a chance to close the books on the Armstrong kidnapping. He stopped yelling, asked for a report, then granted me an extra week.
Excellent. What did you learn from Interpol about the Banque du Lac?
It's had a bad reputation for over a century. Customers have included the mafia, Nazis, corporate swindlers of every description, even heads of state.
It is true, this. It is the worst-kept secret in banking. They take advantage of the bank's strict policy of protecting the anonymity of its clients. This is in defiance of many laws from multiple countries, including Switzerland itself. Of course, I have never taken advantage of such a corrupt system.
That goes without saying, my friend.
There are ongoing investigations, subpoenas, court orders. The bank will eventually have to comply, or its assets may be seized. But until then, it still thrives, thanks to its wealthy and powerful clients.
It sounds perfect for the late Monsieur Ratchet. Do you have any ideas?
The serial numbers from some of the bills match those from the Armstrong kidnapping. We agreed in Venice that the bulk of the money must still be physically in the bank's vault.
I concur, Detective Locke. Exemplary work. So, our next task is clear. We need to get into Ratchet's safety deposit box.
There will be codes, passwords.
And Monsieur Wadi would, of course, have known them all. The bag of money he carried is proof of that.
We'll need to find information about Ratchet's box in Wadi's office at the bank.
Most assuredly, but remember the secrecy involved. I doubt his office will contain all we need. Where else must we dig?
¿Dónde puedo encontrar la información de la caja fuerte de Ratchet? ¿Internet? ¿Diario de Ratchet? Preguntarle al señor McQueen. El apartamento del señor Bade, ¿no?
My little gray cells did not let me down.
Mr. Wadi couldn't keep all of his secrets at the bank. Hopefully we'll find something in his apartment. We already have his address thanks to his passport, and his keys we retrieved from his body.
The train stops in Lausanne at 8 a.m. But that's far from Geneva. I can delay the departure until 11 a.m. No later. The police are expecting us in Paris by the end of the afternoon at the latest. They won't tolerate any delay.
The bank doesn't open until 9. I can see only one way that gives us a chance to be on time.
¿Cómo vamos a Ginebra? ¿En barco o en taxi?
Ferries travel between Lausanne and Geneva, but it would take over 3 hours. We can't depend on finding a faster boat. Better to take a taxi and pray traffic is light.
¿Cómo registramos el apartamento y el despacho de manera eficiente? Por separado.
Best thing is to separate. One of us searches his apartment, the other searches his
Claro.
office. To access the safety deposit box, we need to find the key, the box number, and the passcode.
Suppose you find all this. How do you plan to get into the vault?
Suplantando.
We are going to use the bank's anonymity policy to our advantage.
And the quickest way is for you to impersonate Ratchet.
I would rather impersonate Jack the Ripper, but in the interest of justice, I will do it.
We need to find the account number.
Along with everything else.
I will say I want access to the vault. They don't ask for papers or even names. The vault information is enough.
I'm not hearing any of this. I run a train company.
No
I
tranco
don't rob
bancos.
banks.
Perfect.
No
Let's recap
atraco
the
bancos.
plan.
Ordena correctamente los pasos del plan. Resumen del plan. Vale, tenemos encontrar información sobre Ratchet, ir a Ginebra en taxi, reunirse en el banco, registrar el despacho y el apartamento del señor Buddy, suplantar a Ratchet, buscar la caja fuerte de Ratchet y separarse. Pues tiene que ser esta, tío. No me jodas, tío.
I do.
Hola, ¿en serio, tío?
Think.
Vale, sí, madre mía, lo que me ha costado.
My little gray cells did not let me
Madre
down.
mía,
To sum up,
locos.
we're going by taxi to Geneva. Then we'll split up. You're going to search Mr. Waddy's apartment. I'll search the office at the bank. When we have all the information we need, you pretend to be Ratchet. And we
Vale.
can finally find out what Ratchet is keeping hidden in his safety deposit box.
It sounds impossible.
Not for Detective Joanna Locke and Hércules Poirot.
We should get some rest.
You are right, Detective. We face our greatest challenge tomorrow. Together.
Vale, familia, dejamos capitulazo por aquí, ¿vale? Capitulazo de hoy, penúltimo capítulo. El próximo ya final del juego. Nos quedará horita y poco, creo yo. Horita y poco. Así que nada, ya vamos a descubrir quién ha sido el último asesino, ¿vale? Y quién metió la 13 puñalada. Así que nada, familia, como os digo siempre, ¿no? Lo dicho, si os mola el contenido lo podéis apoyar con un gran like. Si no estáis suscritos, suscribiros, no cuesta nada, es tan solo un clic. Y apoyáis a un servidor como yo y familia. Nos vemos en el siguiente vídeo. Hasta luego.